New from Vinegar Syndrome is The Carpenter from 1988. This Canadian slasher stars Wings Hauser, which is always a great star of these films. We get Lynn Adams, who plays Alice, a woman at the start of this one who seems to have had a mental break. She seems to be taking this out on her husband, so you get the subtext that there may be something underlying there in their relationship. They've bought this house in the country that they're slowly getting done up to the standards that they want. Alice is a little bit broken in trying to recover, and she starts to talk to one of the particular carpenters in the house.
Well, that's just the way it is, you know. Once you get it going, once you get the rhythm, it takes on a life of its own. And the moment you stop it, you kill the rhythm.
The titular carpenter, played by Wings Hauser, a man who seems very respectful, who seems very diligent, who seems to be passionate about the work that needs to be done within this household. He is spending all day and all night to make sure that this thing turns out, well, pristine. Alice starts to stumble across him at night, and they have little conversations. And it's this wonderful idea of, is this Carpenter character actually real? Is it a fiction of Alice's memory? Is she still scarred from her trip within a psychiatric facility that has weighed a toll on her? And there is this kind of ethereal feeling throughout it of something that just feels a bit off and not quite right. Now, there is horror in sequences of people being destroyed using carpentry tools. They are few and far between. They come enough to make it interesting as a slasher, but it's the relationship between the carpenter and Alice that I really like. Now, I won't spoil where it goes later on because I feel it's interesting to discover that. Now, if you check out the blurb or the synopsis, it pretty much wastes it for you right from the bat. But I love this aspect to it. The idea that this woman could have had or has had a psychological break, could be suffering yet again. The idea of Wings Hauser as the carpenter who is there to make the house a home that she wants and will not tolerate anybody lacking in the job or doing things they shouldn't be doing.
You really should do something about that temper of yours, Ed.
Mrs. Jarrett.
Call me Alice.
It's a great idea, and even though it's all based within the one location primarily for most of the movie, it's fun. You get an idea of the geography. You get this kind of dreamlike quality throughout the film as Alice kind of moves through this world trying to understand exactly what's going on. I really enjoyed The Carpenter. It took me a little while just to settle into it, but once I started to get these conversations between Alice and the Carpenter, once you started to get the backstory of why things were possibly happening, once it all started to play out, it became something that was really enjoyable and a hell of a lot of fun.
You're gonna have to learn to keep your hands to yourself, aren't you, son?
Now, it does have kills and it does have bloody sequences, and they're kind of fun, sometimes tongue-in-cheek, but always entertaining, and they come frequent enough to really let it sit into that slasher genre. But for the most part, I just loved the mood and the atmosphere of this low-budget schlock. Incredible fun. Wings Hauser was the cherry on the top of this one. I really did like the story. It had a kind of regional horror, low-budget feeling to it, which is an aesthetic I particularly like. And overall, I thought The Carpenter was just a hell of a lot of fun. I would love to know your thoughts on this film if you've seen it, so let me know in the comment box below whether you loved it, hated it, fell somewhere in the middle. As always, there's more content up here. You can see more of my stuff. In the description box below are links to Patreon, membership program, manvfilm.com, always in which you can support me. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.